Hello everybody, welcome back. This is a how to use the Vassal module for Black Flight by Historic Wings, designed by Thomas Van Ayer. And let's get to it. First and foremost, I have one pre-generated game in the menu to allow for a template of Thomas's patrol plan in the notes. So if you don't want that, you select New Game and come in as RNAS. I'm trying to leave the door open for expansions in the future. The New Game in notes, there will be nothing in here. If you come in and load the one that says New Game with the patrol plan, then you come into the notes and there'll be a template here in public. You just copy that and you bring that over to the scenario, and you do this for every day and fill it out and expand on it as you go. Let's start main screen. You have the N10 squadron here. I also have where you can change it to the N1 or the N10 right here. As that moves, it will return with the... maybe I didn't do... No, maybe I didn't do that. I thought I had it returned, but it's no big deal. You guys can do that. And I maybe put that in there later. Altitude track, I don't think I have that. Yeah, I do. I do have that returning. You have the ability to clone this, put the various levels in, and also down here at the bottom, change the colors. They're all in here. So if you need 2 or 3 of them, just clone it, put it where you want it, change the color, and so forth. Just remember when you don't need it anymore to get rid of the one. Turn track, that will return if you hit new mission. Don't get too used to hitting new mission, though, because I'll show you why in a little while. Current WX, forecast WX works the same as in Thomas's other games. I'm not going to get too deep into that. You set them. The big key being that is if there's duplicates, and in this one there's only one. If you get clear, you set up on the one that has a little tab underneath. Patrol period, you set that up as you're advancing through your day. That does not return because the end mission, you're going to be using that after every patrol, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Dogfights and period to remind you of how many dogfights you had, so that you have to return to base after you've had 3 of them, and that does return when you hit end mission. I think that's basically... No, that isn't it for... pieces. Under pieces, game markers, game counters. I have a... much like Game of Drones, I have a border in here, and this border you can use to set your offensive patrols, etc., your destinations, rendezvous. I also have that where you can select the color. I have a notes section in it, so what I like to do is put my offensive patrol or whatever, how many passes I've got to do, or if there's damage on the area from bombing or something, you can put that in there. The other thing I did was if you click on it, you can cycle through numbers. I think I gave it up to 20 or 30 or something, to keep track of how many times you've passed on your missions. This is one of the ones like I always do. You have to use the shift key to select it so it doesn't drag around with your counters, but you can still hit the counter. Yeah, it goes way up past 30. You'll never be able to do 30 because you only get 30 turns. So, but yeah, I kind of open-ended that one. So shift that one. You can either delete that or that disappears at the end mission also. Up top, change sides. The only one we have in there right now is RNAS and Observer. Counters. You probably don't need most of them. I do have like the German flights, British flights, everything in here. The clouds are in here. The British dogfight, I don't really think you need them because I have them on another page. French dogfight, I don't have them on the other page. Actually, you do need the British dogfight. It's the Germans ones you don't need. And the French dogfight, the German ones I have on another page, and I'll get to that one shortly. Game counters, you shouldn't need them. Dogfights and period. All this you can keep track of later. You can see I have select color on that one too. Anything that was, I think it's just altitude and dogfights and period that are changes the colors. Altitude, you really don't need these. You can drag them out if you want. Game counters, current, all that's in there. If you make a mistake and delete it. The aerodrome planes, you really don't need them neither. I have them out there, but you may have to come back and grab them as you get some replacements. And the medals. Haven't done much with those either, but they're there. Dice menu. I have a dice tray set up for D20, D4, D26. That'll only roll up to 2 on the white die and 6 on the other white die. And then a D36, so it'll do the up to 3 and up to 6. RNAS dice go up to D86. You can roll them. You can re-roll them here. If you push them off to the side and hit re-roll, the ones out of the tray will not re-roll. Clean that up. Same with the IJS, the German Air Service. Just if you have a die, what I prefer to do is roll for each individual plane and tally up the hits and the defenses as I get them, and I'll show you how I do that in a little while. That way you don't lose track of like certain cards and stuff where a guy gets +5 or this guy got hits, the other guy didn't. You can keep track of all that. So I only put 8 dice in every side. It gets awful crowded with buttons and everything if you don't. Clean up cleans everything up. Re-roll rolls every die that's inside that green area. In the dice menu, for those of you that like to roll a lot of dice, I did add the ability to put any number of 6-sided dice or whatever you want to put in here. I put that in there and it'll sort them all out in order for you. But I find it just as hard to try and count these up. I'd rather just use the other. But there it is for you. German, RNAS, it's all there. The SOP, definitely use that to keep track of things. Nothing automated about this. You can use either color. Just follow your way along as you go. Nothing too spectacular there. The tactical menu, the tactical map, and I also have the enemy planes in here. And that Crown Royal is an ode to my friend Chris Scholl, who tests most of my modules for me and puts up with a lot of my stuff and gives me good suggestions. So I saw his video. He had his Crown Royal bag to mix them up in, and I decided to do the same thing. For the Germans, I read the rules, but I didn't retain them as well as I'd like, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say that, but hey, whatever. If you draw out, you can draw them all out here. I'll give you plenty of room to do it, and I'm also planning for expansions later. So if you got 4 of them here, actually I wanted a named ace. There we go. You can send all of them to the tactical map. It'll put them down here in the bottom corner. On these counters, and this is the same for the British and the French. Here's what I was talking about with the hits and stuff. You can enter in the hits and the defense dice each one gets, and it's just a simple. Actually, I think I have it so you can just plus and minus. Plus increases the hits, yes, and minus it does the defense. So easy to input. Then when you're done that round, you hit this clear attack dice. It clears them all out for you. They have 6 damage slots. You just select it, grab the one that you got, put it in there. Helps you remember all that. Movement, you can climb. You can dive. Actually, I should have leveled first. Dive. And if you flip them to the other way, the same holds true. You can dive and go back to level and climb. I went through a lot of restricting commands and stuff to make all that work for you. And if you return these to the flight, and I want to return these to the flight when they get the damage or you're done the flight. If you shoot down or serious wound or anything such with the named aces, I have a send to unavailable on them. It will send them over here to the unavailable aces. So when you return everything to flight, they'll stay there. You can't use them anymore. As you see, it straightens out all the climbs and the dives. And I don't know if it puts them back left or right. I'll have to look at. Let's see. I'll keep working from left to right on what I was doing. Return the deck there. Gets rid of him. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing on that, but I don't know. Turn duration cards, you pull them, discard them right here. You can actually put them anywhere you want and discard them. And there somewhere is the reshuffle the deck. So if you're pulling them down here, you can just hit reshuffle and it'll reshuffle them all. Trait cards, pull them out as you need them. They all return to deck too. I have them pulling face down because you're not supposed to know what you get on most of them. Just hit mask when you want to see them. I'm going to leave these out because I got to show you some other things. Same with the Vice. Actually, we'll flip them over. The other thing I did, which is worth noting, is on this map, and you probably saw it already on the tactical map. I have the terrain showing on the mouse over viewer, so you can actually see what's underneath of them without moving the counters and hitting the button up here and everything else. Just scroll over them, and you can see what location you're in. Easier to move encounters all over the place. Aerodromes. We only have the one right now, but I left it open for future expansion. So we go to Droglint, and here's where I have all the aerodrome planes lined up. Now what I do is I'll put, as I'm filling out my pilots, I'll take the corresponding planes I used, and I'm just doing this as a show, and I put the one flight there, and I put the other flight here as I'm using them up, so I don't get 2 of them out there by mistake, so I could do that. And when I'm done, I just delete all the rest of them. That's why I put them just like this. Then I just come in, select all the rest of these, and delete them. And then you've got your flight out here, and you can do whatever. These I do have so you can rotate. Oops, I got to fix that, and that's easy enough to do. Mark it down or I will forget. Oh, my kitty struck again. My pen is somewheres in the apartment. She doesn't get her candy fast enough. She gets upset with me and grabs my pen and runs off and plays with it. Rotation on airdrome planes. That'll be fixed by the time this gets out, but I won't change the video. Anyway, they turn. You move them around. They also flip unavailable. If you need one, you've already deleted it, and you need one back, you just go into the counters and pull it out. Airdrome, I think that's it on the airdrome. I didn't do a whole lot with that other than grid it out and everything. Squadron admin. This is where a lot of the good stuff starts happening. You got your squadron grid. You've got your squadron roster. You've got your squadron log week. And I also made one for the squadron commander. Cool thing about this, a lot like Bag 23. And I really spent a lot of time on this, putting everything together. So if I put this goes for all the pilots. If I put in the squadron commander's name, that's going to show up in all the slots. You see it's there, 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 and you can edit that from any of the screens that it shows up on. There is only one place where you can put your starting kills, and that is here on the log week logs. And because the way I have it set up, you got to add one. So when it comes in here, it's going to say started kills, add one. So if I got 9, if I start out with 8 kills, I put 9 down. As with the other thing, yes, victories, they show up once you put them in there. They show up on the various areas. Squad roster also has them. Let's minimize that down. I also, as you see, have it set up to show ground victories too, which aren't in this module, but I'm trying to plan ahead for future reference. Okay, I'm going to stay. I have everything set up here, the exact same as the squadron commander. I'm going to get back to this one because I got to show you VP. But for all intents and purposes, everything you need, I can show you on this one, and I already have some kills there. So if you're flying a patrol during the day, daily schedule, you can hit the patrols to show whether they fly the dawn, noon, afternoon, evening, dawn and noon, dawn and afternoon, dawn and evening, etc. You can fly. You can put any combination up to all 4 of them in there for the day. Overhaul. If you're scheduling for overhauls, you put them in there. Later I'll call up my save game and show you how I have mine set up. Needs repairs. If you have somebody goes down, say on takeoff or something, you can put it out for that. Crash landing, crash takeoff. Travel. If you're sending a guy down to get your replacement plane shot down, they're all on daily schedule. It's more of like a status, but I've got that total already. I didn't know what to put down. It's just maybe I can add notes is already taken to. Just it is what it is. Kills, add kill, add ground kill, remove kill. This is where you can, as you go through your missions, you can keep track of how many kills you had during that day. And as you see, if you put one in there, it tallies up the top here. It is also at the same time keeping your tallies up to date over here and on the squadron grid. And I lost the squadron grid. Yeah, victory's 10 there on the roster. I think that's when I closed out. Yeah, 10. See, you have the ground kills, and you can also adjust the kills if you have to. If you make a mistake or something from any one of this is the same for every box on these sheets. Next is lined out. If your guy's KIA, you really don't need to do this in this game as much as the other, but until they get replaced, if you want to keep them in there, you can, and you can just put these line outs to kind of symbolize that they're no longer there. I left that in there as a carryover from Mag 23 just because it can be implemented if you want it to be. Status, MIA, light wound, serious wound, KIA, insignificant injury, ill, captured. The statuses are all there. They show up as, I had a guy that was ill, so they'll show up as like that. Notes, you can enter any note you want into there if you want. I'll just put test. Okay, they can get crowded. I did try to keep things so it doesn't get too crowded, but I mean, come on, you face it, you don't have a whole lot of space. So, and you want to clear all these out, you just hit reset. It does not, however, get rid of your kills. You got to do that on your own. I think reset pilot kills. You can do that from there. Just be careful when you're hitting stuff. As you see, these are all interlinked, so all that's going to fill in for you. The other thing that is interlinked is I do have, once they get promoted, you can come over here and hit this button to make them a flight leader. I'm going to keep that in mind because let's put in here Thomas. And I can go with T. V. Trait cards, those won't carry over. They're the one thing that you start getting too many global properties after a while. So I had to rein myself in. You'll have to just copy and paste them. That is it for the squadron admin. We go to the flight rosters. I have a patrol roster, and I'm not going to get too deep into that one right away, but I'll get back to that one. Flight roster for your squadron commander. You'll pull his vice card over to here. His you're already going to know. And you can run the easy. Oh, that's a good one too. Anything other three is good. And he's a squadron commander. And I didn't put his attack dice on the grid, but he gets 3 attack dice. And as you see, that shows up over here. It also goes, if you get 4 of them or whatever you want to change it on there, it interchanges. The other thing I did was, and this is why we have the flight patrol roster. Sometimes you can have up to 3 flights flying in one big flight. So when you're mixing and matching, you can carry your guys over to here. Most of it's copy paste, but you can send the vice cards to the various patrol planes. So if I send this to patrol plane 1, then his card's there. Then when I'm done, I think it's on the control M. Yes, the card will go back to his. So that way you don't have to clean all that up. You may have to go in and clear some things up. I think I took pretty good care of that, so you don't have to. Thomas Van Hare, the flight leader, the guy I promoted. The only other place I saw that rank comes in and shows is over here. So as you see, his name's already on there, and it's already got his rank right. So I tried to intertwine this as much as possible to keep the paperwork down. Which brings me to, I got to get rid of this one for this because all this gets taken care of on the log week 1 to 6 or 7 to 10. Yep, kitties are getting fed. Dawn Patrol victory points throughout the day. And I really could have probably gotten away with 1 for each set, but this set right here is for this first week, the whole first week. So any flights you fly at Dawn Patrol, just go in here, say you're going to get, and I think, yeah, it's number pad 0. It's pretty consistent on that. Say you got 7 VPs during your Dawn Patrol. Well, then once you hit new mission, it's going to clear that out and total it over here. VP7, I can up that. I may make it bigger, but it's everything else is small on that page. I tried to keep everything consistent. I'd say you came in and had a bad patrol. That's a minus, and I do see something I gotta fix. I thought I set that property wrong. It should have a -100. And I thought I took care of it all, but obviously I didn't. So we will do that. That will, anyway, it will track all this, and as you see, that's going to update up here. And then when you go into week 2, same thing. Increase it. So you got one more. You hit end mission down there. It's going to clear that out. So the next Dawn Patrol that you run, you can tally it up. It's going to add one there. Keeps your weekly total separate, so you can see how many weeks you won and lost, and it'll keeps tally up here as to how many points total you have. And I have that showing up on every sheet just so you get bombarded with it. So no matter what sheet you're on, you can see where you're standing. Pretty much so that's that. Yes, you can modify, clear the VP over here. So if you make a mistake, you can clear that out and start all over again. Yeah, I showed you the trait cards and everything going over. The other thing I like to do is I will set my dogfight planes up on the flight roster with the, say Thomas has a trait and a device. We don't know what it is yet because he hasn't flown, and he's in plane V. I thought I gave him. Yes, I'll go down here and I'll grab SOP with triplane V, and I'll pull that over here. I just keep them staged on their card, and if that plane's unavailable, then I'll pull it over to the airdrome roster or something. So when they, what I tend to do is I don't use the patrol roster unless I'm mixing and matching. So if I'm going out with 4 guys from this patrol, I will just take the plane of the guy that's not able to fly, and I'll get it off there, put it somewhere till I'm done with that mission. Then I'll put it back on there. These also send to the tactical map, and they'll go into the opposite corner down here, and then you can set them. So when you're all done, you just return them to flight, and they'll come back over to your sheet. I think that also happens with Control M. So send the tactical map. Now, got to be over here. You just clean that sheet off. Anyway, not perfect. You get what you pay for on these modules. Basically, I think that's it for flight rosters. Notes, go back to, I showed you that earlier. I just kind of tend to keep mine. I've only done it once or twice. Got to keep having to restart to make something change. Fill them out in the notes. You can do that scenario or private if you're playing somebody on Vassal, and that's going to be, online, that's going to be a whole other monster that I don't know if I'm going to be capable of making happen. I am no computer guy. I can put modules together, but if it gets too deep, I get lost. So multiplayer and stuff, I'm not quite sure how to bring all that together yet. I'll be quite honest with you. Charts and orders, they are not in the module, so please don't ask about them. They will not be given out. That's there for me, for my playing and testing and stuff like that. This is your save up as a PNG image, your screenshot basically for your map if you want to show it to somebody. Your zoom control standard, new mission, and actually I can get rid of that move because I don't think I have anything showing as move. I think basically that's it in a nutshell. I hope I didn't forget anything. From what I've played so far, I really like what I see. So you guys enjoy the module, enjoy the game. It'll probably be a few more days yet till I release it because I want to get playing a little bit just to make sure that the module plays and I don't find any more problems in it. As you see, I already found one just by making this video. So problems, they're inevitable. So anyway, thanks for joining me. This is Black Flight by Historic Wings, designed by Thomas Van Hare, and the module should be out within a week, I'd say. Thanks for joining me, and see you guys all later. Bye now.